Miserable Marjorie Taylor Green, mean Marjorie Taylor Green. She said it's disgusting. She said it's filthy. And she said it's repulsive. She said you could see people overdosing all over the streets. She said when I was driving around, when I was walking through New York, I saw people with the big hats, and I know those are Jews. And you know when you say something about them Jews, they get mad. I once said something about the Jewish space laser thing, and they got all bent out of shape, and they invited me to that what is it called? The museum where all them died in Germany? The Holocaust. They invited me to the Holocaust Museum, and I spoke to these rabbis. What are they called? Rabbis. I spoke to these rabbis, and the rabbis were going on and on and on how it hurt our feelings and how you shouldn't say that. And I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. But let me tell you something. When you talk about them Jewish people, whoo, they get mad. And I seen them when I was driving through New York. I also seen druggies all over the place. Anyway, since I'm speaking of the Jews, and I wasn't going to get into this early, I swear I wasn't going to get into this. I was going to save it to the end. I'll just get it out of the way. Let's just say that. Because I don't like to go from one subject to another subject and then come back to the other subject. I like it to be sort of concurrent. Marjorie Taylor Green visited New York City last week. We all saw what happened when Marjorie Taylor Green, mean Marjorie Taylor Green, showed up in New York on arraignment day. I don't know what she thought. I don't know if she's ever been to New York before. I don't know if she thought she was rallying the troops. I don't know what she imagined her little speech across from the courthouse would be. I don't know what she imagined the response would be. But just like based on information, not that I knew any better, just based on what the information was, I could read between the lines on January 6th, based on everything that was being tweeted, that it was going to be bad. That's documented. Not that I thought it was going to be as bad as it turned out. But I don't know what mean Marjorie Taylor Green thought she was going to get coming to New York. First of all, the best, wackiest, staunch, hard-body karate fighters are all in jail. They're in jail. The guy who shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk, he's in jail. They just released the QAnon shaman. He's not about that life anymore. I guarantee you'll never see him in his getup again. 13, 14 months in jail, that'll knock all the sass out of you. You ain't putting on the face paint. You ain't taking whatever you were taking. And this is New York City, the world's most sophisticated city in the world. There's other great sophisticated cities. There's other great sophisticated parts of the United States. There's other great sophisticated parts all over the world. But this is the hub, the best of the best, the most well-rounded, free thinkers. It's New York, motherfucker. We get songs. There's still songs being written about us. It ain't just the rinky-dinky shit. Like big songs are written about New York, and they resonate all over the world because everybody knows that New York is the best. And again, I say that giving respect to all the other great cities. Philly, Boston, Chicago, Dallas I was just in, Austin, Texas, Miami, LA, there's dope cities all over the country. New York is the best. I don't know what the fuck this little animal, and I got a tweet. I got a tweet from PETA. PETA tweeted at me and asked, and they did it in a funny way. They tweet at me sometimes. Please, they basically said, I'm paraphrasing. They basically said, please don't, animals are beautiful, animals are fantastic. Please don't insult animals by referring to people as animals. They basically said that. And I said, yeah, valid, because I don't want to argue with PETA, because I support PETA, and I support what they stand for. But when I call her, listen, not all people are good. Not all animals are good. Some animals need to be taken down. Some people need to be taken down. That's a fact. Some people are unhelpable and uncurable. Whether or not Marjorie Taylor Green is one of those people, I don't know. But when I say animal about a human being, that's what I'm talking about, the kind that's too far gone. What she thought she was going to get coming to New York, I don't know. You know, this is a person who believed in QAnon. This is a person who talked and obviously believed that there may or may not, no, that there may be a possibility that Jewish space lasers exist. So this bitch believes in fairy tales. Marjorie Taylor Green is gullible. She's a gullible person. She believed in QAnon and she believes or believed in Jewish space lasers. She came to New York, and I happened to catch her tweets as soon as she arrived. She said the night before her speech, where we ran her out of the city with the pots and the pans and the whistles, they had people down there, jugglers. They had everybody down there. They had like the kooks barking at the moon. They had them all down there. Ran her out. But as soon as she got to town, she was talking about how this is Gotham. It's destitute. There's druggies everywhere. And I knew she was lying. I knew she was lying. She came to New York with an agenda to lie, to straight up lie about our city. And whether you're a Republican or not, you should take offense to that shit, because as a New Yorker, we all know the flaws. We all know that crime should be better in New York specifically. We all know that New York could be cleaner. We all know that, homeless stuff is still an issue in the 5 boroughs. We all know all the things that are wrong with New York. And we know that she wasn't in the Bronx. She wasn't in Queens. She wasn't in Brooklyn. She wasn't in Staten Island. She was in Manhattan, probably in lower Manhattan near the courthouse, which is very nice. So I knew she was fucking lying, and I took offense to that as a New Yorker. Not if anybody said that, I'd take offense to. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're making this up. And then we ran her out of town. My viral video, which was a remix, went super viral. I mean, crazy. I walk around with sunglasses the last few days because I was getting recognized. I had to be like on that shit. Like I was Usher Raymond or one of them motherfuckers. And miserable Marjorie Taylor Green, mean Marjorie Taylor Green, she said on an interview with giggling Tucker Carlson that it's there's druggies everywhere. She said it's disgusting. She said it's filthy, and she said it's repulsive. She said you could see people overdosing all over the streets. She said when I was driving around, when I was walking through New York, I saw people with the big hats, and I know those are Jews. And you know when you say something about them Jews, they get mad. I once said something about the Jewish space laser thing, and they got all bent out of shape, and they invited me to that what is it called? The museum where all them died in Germany? The Holocaust. They invited me to the Holocaust Museum, and I spoke to these rabbis. What are they called? Rabbis. I spoke to these rabbis, and the rabbis were going on and on and on how it hurt our feelings and how you shouldn't say that. And I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. But let me tell you something. When you talk about them Jewish people, whoo, they get mad. And I seen them when I was driving through New York. I also seen druggies all over the place. Misery and Manhattan is just scary. I was scared. You fucking animal. Sorry, Peter. You didn't walk around New York. You came in a car. You went to your hotel room. You went to your rally. You got booed the fuck out. You probably didn't go back to your hotel room. You probably had your bags with you. You went to the airport to go back down to Florida to gargle and suck Donald Trump's balls. Don't come to New York. You're not sophisticated enough to appreciate everything about New York. Period. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Not a YouTube page, it's my YouTube channel. Some might even call it a YouTube experience. Leave a comment, ask a questions. Tell a friend to tell a friend, but leave a comment and ask me a question because I read them all and I might answer back. Thank you.